Welcome to the Animo Combo Book Project Part 4. In this tutorial we're going to talk about color correction before I basically start painting with my little brush marks in here. Pretty much done all the cloning I kind of want to do, and I've merged all the different parts together in different layers, and so here it is with a gray background. You can kind of see how it looks. It looks okay. There's a few little areas here that have to be erased, looks like, through masking, but ultimately what we need to do is start thinking about now, before I start adding brushwork in here, some color correction. You can see here, if I zoom in on the tail here, that it's quite green looking, and I want to change that. So I'm going to select this tail layer here, which is this layer here, and I'm going to go to the FX icon here at the bottom, and I'm going to add a style effect. So it's the same effect if I double clicked on the layer, but the one I want to do is color overlay. So color overlay, it opens up layer style menu here, and it'll default to whatever color it is. Usually it's gray here if you haven't been working with it. If you click on this little swatch here, you can pick whatever color you want in here. And what I want to do is select a color that's near the animal itself of another color. Maybe this elephant here, something kind of dark. Thinking something like this might be kind of nice. And then all I have to do is click OK, and right now it flattens everything out, but if I change the blend mode here from normal to say hue, all of a sudden we got a little bit of tinge of the color. And then basically I can reduce this opacity if I want some of the other colors underneath. I can go all the way to 0 if I want, but just reduce a little bit I think is really nice. So something like that looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And I think, most of the other parts are working pretty good together. Like, I don't need to color correct most of the other parts here. I could do maybe the leopard, maybe gray it down a little bit. We could try that. Actually, that might be kind of interesting, just to see what would happen. So the head is a little bit kind of extra yellow, but I already did some what do you call it, cloning here, so I would have to change that color too. So actually, I think I'm going to leave it alone. I don't think it's that much of a jarring difference from the legs and the head, but I am going to color correct the wings here. I think the wings here are definitely an issue. So they're definitely off from the other colors quite a bit. So again, I'm going to select this wing here, go to the FX icon, and choose color overlay. And then again, it's defaulting to what I had before, so I can click in here and pick maybe something kind of darker in this shadow area here, and then click OK. And hue is fine. Maybe reducing this amount a little bit so I get some of those colors underneath to show through. Around 58% looks pretty nice. I could go a little bit lower, I think. Even as much as 45% is pretty good. It still has a little bit of color overlay. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK and apply that. Now if I want to have the exact color on this wing here, I can right click and go to copy layer style. And then I just have to find that other wing layer, which is this one right here, and right click and paste layer style. And now they both have the same color overlay on there. So it's minor little touch-ups. We'll definitely do more overall color corrections at the end, but this will allow me to now start painting and start blending these together here, each of these images. Now here's sort of the before and after. So you can see it's very subtle. It made a big difference in the fur here. One thing we could probably do is, I'm just noticing it right now more, is maybe increase the saturation of the legs. So this is another thing you can do besides sort of color correction, is do a hue saturation adjustment. So I'm going to click on the adjustments here and do a hue saturation adjustment. And I'm going to clip it by clicking this little icon here and just start to increase that saturation a little bit. And there we go. It sort of brightens up the color to match that color a little bit. And we could do the same thing on the other leg. So I can select this leg here, adjustment, hue saturation. So these little color adjustments are really great in the beginning to kind of do whatever you want, and then to paint on this whole thing, what I want to do is make a merged copy like I did here. So what you have to do that is just click on your very top layer, add a new layer, and then so I'll drag this layer above this layer, and then you hit this weird hotkey. It's Control Shift Alt and E together. So that's Control Shift Alt. It's or Command Shift Option on a Mac, and E, the letter E. So, and that'll make a merged copy here. Now, it did it with the gray background. I don't want that, so I have to make sure I turn off the gray background when I do this, and then just hit Control Shift Alt E. And now I've got my merged copy. So now I can hold the Alt key and click on this, and essentially I can use selection. So I can control click it, and you can see the marching ants everywhere on here. If I hit the Q key, you can see the selection that's there. So that's basically color correction, a little bit of a hue saturation adjustment in a nutshell. And until next time, see you soon in Adobe Photoshop. Cheers.